What's going on, vinyl community? This is Nate here. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to show you. A lot of the records I'm going to talk about represent about 2 digging trips and one thing I didn't even get to go to. Way back on May 5th, there was one of the record sales at for my local public television station I mentioned in my first video, and I didn't get to go. As I mentioned once, I think I'm in the Marine Corps Reserves, and that was my drill weekend, and I didn't get to go, so I missed the record sale and I missed my brother's graduation. But it was kind of nice because both Dave and John, they both they both thought about me, so I got some stuff anyway, even though I didn't get to go. So I got James Gang Rides Again, their second album, record I really like. It's got some good stuff on it. It's got the Bomber on it, Funk 49. There's a lot of other stuff. Those are just 2 of the songs a lot of people know. We also got this, Best of Waylon Jennings, or Waylon Jennings' Greatest Hits. This pretty much had everything left on it by Waylon that I really wanted, and Dave got me both of those. And John got me this, which is a 45 of Poison, Living for the Minute, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Still has like the cow print picture sleeve. Thought that was pretty cool that they thought of me, even though I didn't get to go. From what I hear, it wasn't as good an event as it has been in the past. Seems like it keeps moving to smaller venues, and that's just kind of disappointing. But I'll probably still try to make it next year if I can, but we'll see how it is. It's almost a year away. But I mentioned my brother's graduation, and some of the other records I got, I bought when Dave went to spend some of his graduation money. And I don't remember when I bought some of these, so bear with me. This is new. This is Beats from Badsville. This is a double 10-inch. And the headline for it is More Trash Classics from Lux and Ivy's Vinyl Mountain. It's actually like a bunch of the stuff that was an influence for the band The Cramps. It's kind of a psychobilly band. This is all stuff from the 50s. It's pretty good. There's some people on here I've heard of, some I haven't. Wanda Jackson is on here. And there's some other names I recognize from in my Rockabilly video I mentioned. It's a 3-disc set called Rockin' Bones. It's on CD. It might be on vinyl too. I was going to look into that and I forgot. But this is kind of, if Rockin' Bones is not on vinyl, which I don't know, this is pretty close. Beat from Badsville. If you're into like not just old rock and roll, but there's doo-wop on here and kind of just like the 1950s kind of music, I think there's a lot of good stuff on it. I would recommend it. And then because I'm a nerd, most of the rest of these records are just in alphabetical order. George Carlin, Class Clown. I liked it because it still had the recommended for adult listening tag on it. This has the 7 words you can never say on television on it, which is almost a classic now. Got Johnny Cash, Original Golden Hits Volume 2. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. These were comps that were released on Sun in the 70s. So I know somebody can tell me more about them. Jim Cook already did tell me a little bit about them. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan, but I didn't have these Sun comps, and I don't know, maybe I'm weird and I wanted to get the first one first, but I hadn't seen it, but I saw this one, there was a good price on it, so I bought it. Ray Charles Invites You to Listen on Spartan Records. This is, I don't remember if I noticed it first or if the guy at the shop told me that this is actually a Canadian label, or at least a Canadian pressing. It says Spartan of Canada Limited, London, Canada. Is Ontario, I know that. I think this is a really good record. Ray Charles for me is one of those artists that I really feel like I should get his older stuff, even if I'm not familiar with it, because it seems like I like almost all of it. Like I said, this is in no particular order other than alphabetical. But I got the Dwarves, Blood, Guts, and Pussy. This I actually ordered from Crate Junkies off of Discogs. I was really into like hardcore punk rock back in the day. I think this is a great hardcore punk album. One warning that I didn't know is there's probably somewhere between 8 and 12 songs on it, but this whole album's like 15 minutes long. And I guess that's just classic punk rock, but the average song length is about like a minute and a half. It's a good album though. See, I got Dr. Hook, Sloppy Seconds. This is their second album. You might have guessed that from the title. This has got a Freaker's Ball on it and the cover of Rolling Stone. I really bought it for cover of Rolling Stone, but this was a dollar bin find at one of my favorite record shops in Normal, Illinois, called North Street. And I don't know, maybe there's a bunch of these records out there, or Dr. Hook stuff isn't really selling. I don't know, but I would think in the shape this was in, it was probably at least a $5 record, and I got it for $1, so I think that's pretty cool. We got the Buddy Holly story. I was thinking when I made that Rockabilly video that, man, I should get some Buddy Holly. I really like Buddy Holly's music. And seemed like one of the holes in my collection being into early rock and roll, and I didn't have any Buddy Holly, so I got some. This, I looked it up. This is on Coral Records, and I think this actually came out in 1959, soon after Buddy Holly died. It's not billed as a memorial record, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's meant to be. It's called The Buddy Holly Story, came out in 1959, and it's got a lot of his big hits on it. I think the George Jones storm on the VC has died down, but I really like George Jones, just kind of music I grew up listening to, thanks to my grandpa. And I got some George Jones Greatest Hits on MusicCore. I got a lot of this stuff, thinking, I should get some more George Jones, and I was more afraid that after he passed away, that a lot of those prices were going to go through the roof. But this one was $4, and I do thank some of the shops I go to for not, jacking up the prices. I don't know, I just think that that's kind of disrespectful in a way to the people that have passed on, and also to the, the people looking to get their music. I got this one, George Jones Greatest Hits, and this one, George Jones Why Baby Why. This actually looks really old. It's got a lot of his old stuff on it, but this is a repress from, I want to say 1966. I'll have to look that up again. This one was also $4. And I think they're both pretty good. I like a lot of his really early stuff. I like his 80s, or 70s and 80s stuff too, but I like his early stuff. Got Judas Priest Turbo Lover. I don't know what it is with me, but it seems like when I find a Judas Priest record, the record is in great shape and the sleeve is jacked. I put this in plastic because I don't know if it was water damaged or somebody's dog got a hold of it. The other Judas Priest record I've got, Screaming for Vengeance, is all beat up too. The record's in great shape, but the sleeve is, I think some kid drew on it and it's falling apart, so I don't know. I don't complain. I think they're combined, $3. See, this one, I got Motorhead Live, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Seems funny, I was looking all over. I actually really wanted to get this record specifically. I was looking all over for Motorhead, couldn't find it anywhere. I found that great limited press of their first album that was put out on the white vinyl that I showed in one of my videos. And then I ran into this one, and I actually spent more than I wanted to that day, but I couldn't leave it, and it wasn't terribly overpriced. It was $12. And I had to take it with me, so I now have 2 Motorhead records after not having any, so I guess that's just the way things work out sometimes. Let's see, Willie Nelson, Always on My Mind. This record I think is from 1982. This was another dollar record. Honestly, I cannot remember where I bought this one right now. Actually, you know what, I think I bought this at Reverberation. It's in really good shape. It's got Always on My Mind on it, and it's got A Whiter Shade of Pale. Believe it or not, he does with Waylon Jennings. And I think this is a really nice record. You know, thanks to my dad, I really like Willie Nelson, so I was happy to get some Willie Nelson. See, the next record I got to show is Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. This is Ozzy's first album after leaving Black Sabbath. This has got a lot of good stuff on it, some of which is almost cliche, like Crazy Train, but I really like the songs I Don't Know and Goodbye to Romance. Mr. Crowley's good. This is a record I really wanted to get, and I was gonna order or see if I could find locally one of the reissues of this. And I ended up finding it in the dollar bin in North Street, and sleeve's a little bit beat up. I don't know if it's kind of worn on the edges, but other than that, it was in pretty good shape for $1. I mean, the record itself was in really good shape, so I decided to take it with me, and I can't complain. It's pretty good shape. Something else I talked about in that Rockabilly video that I didn't have any of was Carl Perkins. I got Carl Perkins' Greatest Hits. It's got everything on it. One of the practices that was a big deal for a lot of the early rock and roll guys, at least it seems to be on Sun, is like a lot of the guys on Sun, as soon as they got to another record label, the record label would want them to re-record all their stuff. So this is the Greatest Hits, and it appears to my ear, or it seems to my ears anyway, that this is all stuff that was recorded probably in the early 60s, like re-recording stuff that he did on Sun. It's got all the hits on it, you know, Blue Suede Shoes, and he actually covers Folsom Prison Blues and Daddy Sang Bass, songs that Johnny Cash did. Honey Don't, Bop in the Blues. I could go on, but I won't. But it's got everything on it, pretty much. And, you know, I was thinking, as much as I love Elvis, I think I might be done getting Elvis's stuff, because I have so much of it. And then it seemed like all of his early stuff I wanted, I just kept seeing for ridiculously cheap prices. This is the Elvis's Gold Records Volume 2, also known as 50 Million Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong. I always liked this cover, so I just thought it was cool. And then as soon as I found out that there was a series of the Golden Records, I started trying to find them, so I got Volume 3. I don't think this one has a special title or anything, but it's Volume 3 of Elvis's Golden Hits. And this I honestly didn't need to buy, but it's Heartbreak Hotel. I think this is an English pressing from 1981. It says Hyde, London, so yeah, it's an English pressing from 1981. Really, with the Golden Hits records, I didn't need that one, but I bought it anyway. I got Elvis's Christmas album. I like Elvis, I like Christmas, and I have a version of this. I'm not sure if it's the same material, yet it's nowhere near Christmas, so I haven't listened to this one yet. I got a lot of the same material on CD, but I wanted to get it on vinyl. And just because I like redundancy, I also got this, which is Elvis's Worldwide Gold Award Hits Part 1 and 2. This was also really cheap. This was $4, which I think is one of the reasons I bought it. It was all the hits, and it was $4. It's a double. It's got a lot of good stuff on it. Some stuff, believe it or not, I'd never heard before. And I've been a big Elvis fan for probably about 8 years. And there was a lot of stuff that I had never heard before, and it's pretty good stuff, so I thought that was cool. Also found this, Django Reinhardt. This record is in really good shape. I dated it back to about 1954, soon after Django Reinhardt died. And you probably can't see it, but at the very top it actually says In Memoriam and his years of life. And this record is in great shape. It sounds good. I like Django Reinhardt's music. I also just kind of fell into it. I thought it was cool. Honestly, I bought it because it's Django Reinhardt and it's old. I could tell by the cover because it's kind of simple. It's got like the old RCA Victor logo. And it sounds really good. I would recommend, if you could run into this record, that you pick it up. This I actually bought at North Street. This is Charlie Rich, Behind Closed Doors. Still has the hype stickers on it, and still says from Zayres with a price on it. This I actually bought out of an incoming bin. I just started flipping through stuff, and he said, hey, those just came in, they're not priced. And I asked, do you want me to not look through them? It's like, no, if you find anything on there, we can decide on a price. I pulled it out. Still got the shrink on it, obviously, and the record is in good shape. And they said, how about $1? And I said, sold. So it's a good record, and happy to have it. Next, I got Keely Smith, Swingin' Pretty. I recognize the name Keely Smith from being a Louis Prima fan. She sang with Louis Prima. And this record, I actually really enjoy this record. I think if it'd be the perfect record to make a pot of coffee and throw on and just chill. It's a lot of jazz standards and stuff. I just think it's a really good record. It's Capitol. It's from the 50s. I'm going to pull a number out of my ass and say I think it's 56 or 57, but don't quote me on that because I don't remember. So yeah, I got Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. This was a $1 bin find. I really bought for the title track. My brother Dave has this record. I think it's got some other good stuff on it, like 10th Avenue, Freeze Out, and Born to Run, obviously, Thunder Road. It's a good record. I actually kind of bought it just because it was a target of opportunity because it wasn't very expensive. Next record I've got is The Sword. This is Gods of the Earth. It's got a gatefold, so I suppose I'll show it. Nothing really that cool to see. So far I've gotten 3 Sword albums, and I bought them all at Error Records in Champaign. He's got ridiculously good pricing on them. I think this one was $12 or something like that. And I really like The Sword. I think there's only one of their albums left I don't own at this point. So I think Apocryphon, or I think that's something like that is the name of it. It's the only one I don't have, so I'm going to pick that one up when I can find it. What we've been listening to up to this point is Tom Waits' The Heart of Saturday Night. I've kind of been in a Tom Waits kick now and again in the last month or so, month or two. And this I got at North Street. This is one of the represses, and I really like this album. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. It actually kind of threw me off because Tom Waits' voice in it isn't kind of like the normal gravelly Tom Waits voice that I was used to. And this is from 1976. I have Blue Valentine, which I think I played in my first video, which is, he's got pretty much the classic Tom Waits gravel voice. Like, man, what happened? He smoked like a carton a day from 76 to 78, but it doesn't matter. I really like these records, and I just keep picking them up. I also got this one at North Street, Foreign Affairs. This record I enjoyed. I'd like to listen to it again. Kind of digest it a little bit more. I had so much stuff, as you can see. I really wasn't throwing stuff on to listen to twice. It's pretty much like almost like a homework assignment. Like, you get it listened to, put it in a stack so I can make a video. But I liked both of these records. I'd like to get some more Tom Waits. That's kind of one. I don't know if I'm officially trying to get his whole discography yet or not, but I just try to find what I can find. This record, laugh at me if you want to. I could really give a shit, to be honest with you. But John Wayne, America, Why I Love Her. I'm a huge John Wayne fan. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of the last 3 patriotic people in the United States. But I really kind of enjoy this. Some people might think it's corny because it's just John Wayne talking. If you ever watch his movies, he doesn't have much of a singing voice. But it's John Wayne talking with like orchestration behind it. And I enjoy this record. If you're a John Wayne fan, or if you're someone that's patriotic, you probably enjoy the record, at least for camp value. I don't know, it's kind of campy, but I like it. So we got The Who, Meaty, Beady, Big and Bouncy. I actually found out after I got this and saw all the hits that were on it that this is more or less like a singles collection from the early 70s. This is actually I looked it up. This is actually a release of this from the 80s. It's got the 80s MCA logo. But this, honestly, if you were a Who fan and you were only going to buy one record, I would say get this record. And just to read side one is I Can't Explain, The Kids Are Alright, Happy Jack, I Can See for Miles, Pictures of Lily, My Generation, and The Seeker. I mean, that's just side one. And there's even more good stuff on the second side. And I think this is a great record. I'm glad I was able to get it. I actually bought it mostly because I wanted the album The Seeker, which was a single that I think was only released as a 45 7-inch back in the 60s at some time. And it was kind of a way to get that song and to get some of the stuff by The Who, because I didn't have any. I like this band. And my last LP is 14 More Hits of Hank Williams. It's got a lot of good stuff on it. I actually bought it for the song Lost Highway, and then he actually did a version of Lost Highway I've never seen before, and that was kind of disappointing. It was different. Not terrible, but just different. So I'll probably end up trying to find another version of that. That's more like the traditional slowed down version I'm used to. Let's see, and then I've got a bunch of 45s. My brother showed these, so I'll just mention them for a second. And if you're not subscribed to his channel and you're interested in this kind of stuff, it's DRUNO82. Third Man Records, in collaboration with Sun, re-released a few of the early Sun 45s, and it's even got like the Sun picture sleeve. I think these are a little bit different than the original ones. I want to say that they were all the yellow stripes originally, but I don't know. Someone can tell me that, maybe in the comments. This is Rufus Hound Dog, Thomas Jr., Bearcat, and Walking in the Rain. This is pretty much just like old, like early 50s, like kind of gritty blues, and I like it. Wasn't familiar with that one. This is The Prisoners, Just Walking in the Rain, and Baby Please. This band I actually was familiar with because of some of the Sun compilation CDs I have. And this one was the one that really made me want to buy this whole thing. Was Johnny Cash, Get Rhythm, and I Walk the Line, two of Johnny Cash's great hits. Two of my favorites, actually. And this whole thing I pre-ordered from Third Man Records for 15 bucks. Got some great stuff, so I'm happy to have it. And then I got a big-ass stack of 45s. Almost Jesse Cundiff territory, but probably not even close. But this I found, and then I found out, oh crap, this is his original label. Was James Brown on King. I Got You, I Feel Good, and I Can't Help It. I think both of these songs are great. I just wanted to get some James Brown. I'll probably get some LPs pretty quick too, if I can find them. So you got the Champs doing Tequila on Challenge, GA Challenge, and Train to Nowhere, also by the Champs. See, I got Hot Rod Lincoln by Commander Cody. That's probably the version that most people have heard, and I know there's a lot of old versions. I have a super terrible version of it just called Hot Rod Race, but it's basically the same song. So My Home in My Hand and Hot Rod Lincoln. Bobby Darin, Beyond the Sea, and Mac the Knife on Atlantic Oldies. This is from the 80s. I probably paid too much of it for it, seeing as how it's from the 80s, even though it's two of his bigger hits, but whatever. The Dead Milkmen, Dizzy in the Daylight, and Punk Rock Girl. I bought it for Punk Rock Girl. It's not on Epic, it's just an Epic sleeve. Actually, I'm not sure what the record label is. Fever Records. I probably should have remembered that from having their stuff on CD, but whatever. And again, kind of if you want to make fun of me, I don't care. Believe it or not, this is a song I got because it reminded me of my mom. But What the World Needs Now is Love by Jackie DeShannon. It's just kind of a nice song. I don't really care if you want to make fun of me. This is Imperial. Still got the sleeve. Got the Diamonds, which I really got for the song Little Darlin'. If you don't know what that is, check it out. It's kind of a classic, I guess you'd call it doo-wop song. like I said, every time I buy 45s and they're cheap, I can't help myself to buy some garbage. So Grandma got run over by a reindeer by Elmo and Patsy. I pretty much bought this to annoy my roommate / brother, and then I put it on and he thought it was hilarious, so backfired on me, I guess. But hey, I'm only out 40 cents. Then I got Europe, The Final Countdown, and On Broken Wings. Bill Haley, Happy Baby, and Dim Dim the Lights. I like Bill Haley. That's somebody else I kind of glossed over on my early rock and roll thing. I'd like to get some more of his stuff. And it's got Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, You Don't Know What You've Got, and I Love Rock and Roll. It's a classic. Got Ramsey Lewis. I got it just because it was Ramsey Lewis. Looking Glass and Whisper Zone. I wasn't really familiar with those songs. One it seems kind of like classic Ramsey Lewis trio, and the other one's kind of more like 70s, like the song Sun Goddess. Kind of with the electric piano in the background instead. Let's see, I got Montgomery Gentry, Merry Christmas from the Family. Originally a Robert Earl Keen song. It really makes me laugh. If you're from the South or the Midwest, I think everybody's been to that Christmas party, whether it's their family or they got invited to one. But it's Merry Christmas from the Family and All Night Long. Got Public Image Limited. I know my brother showed this one. This is a record store release I was able to pick up. It didn't sell, so I bought it. I really enjoy it. It's a band that Johnny Rotten was in right after the Sex Pistols. If you like the Sex Pistols, you probably like this. Check it out. See, then I got Elvis Presley, Don't Be Cruel, and Hound Dog on RCA. All Shook Up, and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. Elvis again. Like I said, I like Elvis. I just kind of, if I find it and it's cheap, I buy it. It's kind of my obsession. See, then I got some Louis Prima on Dot Records, Old Man Mose, and Wonderland by Night. I bought it because it was Louis Prima. If you like Louis Prima, I want to pick it up. It's good. Let's see, then I've got Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise. I bought it for that song. I don't even remember what the B-side is. Run for Cover. I bought it. I like 80s rock, and I'd like to get a lot more of it. Let's see, and I completed a hole in my collection because I was able to get Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. That was the only single of his I didn't have, so I got it now. See, and then my brother actually found this one for me, which is Hair on My Chinny Chin Chin by Sam the Sham. And the B-side is I'm In With the Out Crowd. Again, I like Sam the Sham. He makes me laugh, and I think his music's catchy. And this one, this was not an RSD release, but I bought this. I didn't buy this on Record Store Day, did I? Whatever. This is Ty Segall Fuzz. If you like Ty Segall, or if you really like fuzz guitar, biker movie music, I'd pick this up. I think this is great. I think it's cool. I enjoy it. And see, I bought George Strait, Unwound, early 80s George Strait song, and let's see, what's the B-side? I can't read it with the label on there. I Know She Still Loves Me. I like George Strait. I have one LP and 145 of George Strait now. And this I bought for the Total Cheese Factor, Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight. That finally concludes my parade of records. One of the reasons I kind of wanted to get these out of the way is because I'm planning on going to blow some more money today for some stuff that's being held for me. I'm going to go file this stuff now and probably look forward to another video coming from me pretty soon. So again, peace, love, rock and roll. Happy vinyl digging, everybody.